Yeah, as I suspected, down to 4 volts, it has a parasitic drive. He doesn't hardly drive this car. That's another part of the problem. You gotta drive this car more often. We bought it brand new in 2012. It only has like 30,000 miles on it. So I'll jump it off, let it run, alternator, get it up, because these battery chargers these days, they have this so-called smart technology to where it has to detect the battery before it lets the power go through. Man, I wish I could just find an old school one that just worked like a converter in an RV, and it'll just send the power and charge whatever. And then it detects when it gets to the high side, not worrying about the low side. So yeah, so oh well. Let me jump this off, get the NOCO out, jump this bad baby off, and get it running for a while, and then let it run while I run up to a parts store, get the plug so I can tune up my sister's car. This is what I love about the old NOCO boost. I wish they would go back to this. Is that you see, it shows what the voltage is just by hooking up the thing before I even turn it on. It tells you what it is. And turn it on. Okay, and then it shows you what the voltage is on this. This one's a couple years old. It's got some age on it, and it doesn't hold the charge quite as well as it used to. So let's come in here. Everything. Still crank it up, no problem. Didn't have to override it or anything. So even with a battery down to less than 5 volts, it was able to crank it. And then here's the other good thing. Now while the engine's starting, I can see that the alternator is working because it has a little voltmeter built into it. So I love these old NOCOs, you know, the ones that have this. I don't know why they took that. Well, I do know why, because it's cheaper to make them without that. But yeah, they need to go back to putting that on the NOCOs. They charge enough for these things to where they shouldn't have to be cutting corners to save money in manufacturing. Just, you're already charging a lot of money for them, so just do that and make a good product. So gotta let this charge up, let the alternator get this thing back up to at least over 10 volts so that I can put the DeWalt on it, because that little microprocessor that they have in these newer style chargers, they won't even let you charge if the battery is below a certain voltage. All right. All right. So I kind of got to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I drove the Genesis and got that battery charged up so that it can get a parasitic draw test later. And I went to get the parts for these brakes, which are super bad. And then I gotta check on the axles, getting some noise out of this axle. This is an all-wheel drive car, so let's see what's going on with it. Weapons of choice. I got some of the Mac stuff out. It's Mac 3/8 set. Got my RB. Are these RBRTs or is these just a precision torque? Yeah, these are the RBRTs. Got the RBRTs out. Got my DeWalt. This is the DCF 901 12 volt stubby 1/2 inch. Then we got the one of the F100s for the ratchet. You see I got my wrench set up already to break those loose. If it's a little more stubborn, I'll just hit it with the impact. All right, and then the Milwaukee for running stuff on and off. 3/8. So I probably need to grab a couple of hangers. And of course my gloves. I need some, there's one right here. Caliper hanger. Okay. I'll be needing my grease. I keep that in bulk. Yep, birds have left the nest. That's good. Where's my grease? There's my grease. There's my grease. Brake and caliper grease. I think that should do it for right now. Maybe a pry bar, if they want to be stubborn. Okay, so wheels off, and this is now get to actually work on the brakes. So I'm just gonna crack both of these guys here and here and get this off. If it doesn't come off easy, I'll just pry it off, and then hang this, get my caliper press tool. I need to buy another one of those. Mine is, let's see, where is my brake caliper press tool? I couldn't find any NGK plugs because I didn't do the plugs. I have to order those. I'll find my press tool for the brakes. Where is it? Oh, it's down here. The crow's feet. It's in one of these toolboxes somewhere. I'll find it, and I'll be back. The handle broke off of mine, so, and of course need rags. So this is kind of my junk toolbox. All kind of stuff in here. Oh well, I'll find it. I didn't have a big enough thin wrench for the to hold the hex head nut on the other side for the brakes. So that's why I got my RBRT out. Yeah. Find my tool. Find my caliper press. Oh well, I'll come back. Well, brakes are good on the front. Must be the brakes at the back. Went ahead and greased them up. Put the wheel off. It's real easy to see the pad back there. She also said something was going on the side of this wheel, and I see that there's green grease splattered all over the place. That boot must have busted. It's all the way back at the joint where that CV axle goes. I'm gonna end up having to replace this axle, so I'll leave this wheel off. I might leave all 4 of them off and look at the other axle, get me 2 more jack stands, and have this thing sitting on 4 jack stands while I work on it. Look at that other axle. I did have to, she hit a really big pothole at one point in time, and I replaced the control arm assembly on this thing. Let's see which side was that I replaced. See if I could tell by looking at it. I cannot. But no grease over here. So that probably would explain that. And I lose track of time, you know. I thought that it wasn't too long ago I changed these brakes and they looked really good, but she said that's been like years ago. Yeah, that that longer CV axle. That thing has busted. There's grease everywhere. This one looks fine. I typically like to change these in pairs, but I have to ask her if I've already changed the side when I did the control arms and maybe even the tie rod ends, stuff like that. I can't remember, guys. But I'll figure it out. I'll get this lifted up. Let's take a look at the back brakes because I hear crunching when I brake. So there's some brakes on here that are definitely bad. So the search continues. All right, got the brakes done on that. I mean, they're super easy. You just gotta move the slide pins out of the back ones, the bolts out of the front ones. It was the rear brakes. The front brakes were still good, so there's no need to change them. I just greased up the slides, the hardware, stuff like that. And then did the rear disc brakes. They needed to be done. No more crunching sound, and I'll probably do the CV axle tomorrow. But for now, I need to get my dad's little knock around hooked back up. Gotta get the Suzuki going, so we need to fix that for my dad. I gotta change the alternator on it. Got the Superstar Platinum battery going in it, so I can start it and move it over here and get it under the little work area. So I'll be back. Just finished doing the alternator on the Suzuki. So now my dad has both his vehicles back running and my sister has her vehicle back running. Didn't show any of the repair of the alternator on that. Super easy, guys. 2 bolts, top and bottom, directly opposing each other. Built normal tensioner. Don't even have to take the build off. You can just leave it in place while you slip it from around the alternator. It's old Suzuki, and not many people have them anyway, but it's super straightforward. The tools that I use, I'm starting to put my tools up. Totally not happy. These ratchets have so much back drag that it's almost unusable. I don't think I'll buy any more of them. You know, I have most of them, and I'm considering taking some of them back, and because they're in perfect condition, so I don't hardly use them. But like, man, compared to what I ended up using, my Mac Access ratchet, and like my dual 80s too, but I wanted comfort grip in this length for what I was working on, and the back drag was just, it's so horrible on these 102 snap-on ratchets that when you gotta take a fastener loose in a tight spot, it's not gonna do it because it just has so much back drag. It just moves the nut back and forth. Whereas my Mac Access, just the weight of the ratchet hanging, I can just all day. Just from the weight of the ratchet is enough pressure to turn the nut that's been broken free. All I could do with this one is break something free. After I broke it free, I had to use the Mac Access. So why not just use the Mac Access? So I'll be talking to my dealer about that, 'cause I got a lot of these ratchets. And yeah, like I said, I'm super not happy with them. And you know, for using on stuff in a tight spot. The back drag is so heavy, it counteracts the fact that it has more teeth. It's useless. So, yep, you know, I keep it real with you guys. So that's what's going on with that. Oh, where the hell this one at? I don't know. But I'm missing a ratchet out of there. Where's that ratchet at? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I like these Mac sockets, and I think the tray is cool, especially how you can clip it on the side of a toolbox or something, but Snap-on beats it usability hands down because of this. The way they move around in the tray, and you hit it and you knock it, it falls down, sockets come out. Whereas Snap-on, even though it's a cheap plastic tray, it's excellently designed and engineered, and it's magnetic, and the sockets never come out, and they're all in individual circles, so there's no mitigation. So I started off using these, and then I got tired of the sockets sliding together and getting messed up. Like, I need the sizes. Like, if I take one out of the middle and then I move the tray, then they all go together, and it's like, because you can't see the sizes while they're in the tray. Now, I can just look at the tops and kind of tell what's what, but still, it's a little aggravating, bro. So I always end up snatching out a set of my snap-ons. That's why I keep 3 sets of these in these trays, and I didn't put them on the rails because the trays are so easy to use. And this saved the day in a super tight spot, a 1/4 inch. And there's my dad rolling back in with the Suzuki after the test drive. Check engine light was on. I ran it without the breather sensor and stuff hooked up. But I got scan tool out so I can fix it if the drive cycle didn't. So yeah, there it is. Sounds great. All right, guys, that's what we got. This thing won't clear codes. I use my Zurich Z4. Tried multiple times. That's it. I read it one time. I set the code. I ran it without the air sensor hooked up, but this should be able to clear it. And it's not, considering that it's $800. Should be able to do it. This is a 98 vehicle, but still, that shouldn't matter. Yeah, that's what I keep getting. And I even have the flashers on, keep the BCM alive. So, yeah. Let's go with the Zurich. This thing isn't doing nothing. Go back to my old school. My Oski Moski. And I'm gonna turn off the blinkers because it shouldn't need to be on. Alright, let's see how my ZR Pro does. It's a lot of glare. Screen's so bright. That's bad. This a little $30 tool is gonna outperform an $800 one. I forgot you gotta do all this. Well, I'll go back. I didn't click on Audi. Main menu. I hadn't used this thing in a long time. Nice. Start it over. Alright. So this is a lot faster. So we got the same code that I saw on the T8, but it won't clear it. I just stay erase. Yes. Alright, so let's see if it's still there. This was my first scan tool. This little handheld. I got this from Harbor Freight. It didn't cost that much. They call these code readers. They don't really consider these to be scan tools. See? But it had no problem clearing it. So now I am good. And alright. The rest of those little red dots, readiness monitors, the car has to be driven for several miles for those to clear, but the main code is gone, so I can turn the key, start it back up, and check engine light is gone. So that's the ZR4 for the win. Well, this one is still saying no communication, which it doesn't have it now because I took the thing out, but yeah, not too impressed by that. Alright, my sister went and got the parts we ordered. Alright, there's the NGK plug, oil. Where's the oil filter at? See the filter. There's the CV axle. Passenger side. Nice. Let's see the oil filter. Gotta change that filter, man. Oh well, won't be changing any oil. We don't have a filter. Not good not to change the filter. Kind of defeats the purpose. Oh well. Let's start by scanning this bad baby. And then run a scan on it. I'll start working on the plugs. Okay, where are you? Where is my DLC connector? Okay, you're right there. Oh, right there. Nice. Let's turn it this way. All right. Turn the car on. Alright. There's the brake from the brake job. Front brakes were good, didn't change those. Go home. Let's start over then. Icon diagnostics. VIN scan. Make sure it's gonna get there. This is kind of what I used to be able to do, especially during the slower period all the time. Like I could work on cars on Sundays and stuff. I like being able to use my tools and stuff, so it's pretty cool to be able to work on some cars. Got to work on a couple yesterday. It's a satisfying thing. So I like doing it. Juke. All right, now that it's going, take a look under the hood. Got it popped. Just snatch this cover off, sit it up there, And we got the coil pack. This is turbocharged 4-banger. Looks like everything's gonna be easy to get to. That bracket might be in the way. I don't like to try to wiggle stuff around stuff. I'd rather just move stuff that's out the way. This coolant hose, yeah. That's in the way. Is that, I don't feel like nothing. That might be part of the turbo and stuff. Anyway, this has to come off. This hose, I can just pop this out and get it out of the way. That one seems pretty clear. If I have to move that bracket, I'll move that bracket. So those are the things that have to move. So I will start by removing the things that need to get out of the way. And once I have a clear picture, then we'll start getting some tools together. Oh, let's put my hat on. Yeah. Got a couple of codes. She says it's been feeling a little sluggish lately. These Iridium plugs, they're good for about 100,000 miles. She has about 120. So it's about time. I just want to do a code scan to see if we had any misfires or anything. It doesn't look like we do. Heating and ventilation, BCM. We got a tire and key registration. I know the batteries went dead in the guide that helped never works. It's like, I don't even know how they put it on here. I programmed keys for this car a while back with my Autel, and anything dealing with keys, I would not try to use the scanner. I would just get my IM508, and but yeah. I will yeah. Anyway, the battery died in one of the fobs. I will put my IM508 on this. Might do like a relearn procedure for the keys. Make sure everything is good with that. Other than that, not having any ECU issues, so not worried about this. I can just clear all these and move on. Disconnect my battery. When I fool with the electrical stuff, I typically disconnect the negative battery terminal before I start working on it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll be back. All right, so I got my coking, my nut grips. I think I'll be using this mostly on this vehicle. My nut grip sockets and my coking ratchet, aside from my power ratchet. I got out the Snap-on. I'm trying to use these 100 tooth ratchets, but they're really just like unusable. And this is why I'll be probably sending them back to my dealer. I'll give you an example. All right, so you can see there, I got the witness marks and stuff. This stuff has probably never been taken off before. Put this in the off position. I need to take this stuff loose. And I crack it loose. And as soon as I crack it loose, like, it's moving both ways. I can't take it off anymore because even when I'm pulling on it to try to put, I got a couple turns on it, but like, that's all it could do. It could just crack stuff loose, and that's useless, bro. It's just the back drag is so heavy that it's useless. Now, let me get the one on the other side using the coking. All right, let's see what we got. Let me see if I can make sure I get you a good camera angle. All right, it's loose, still turning. I could just keep going. I can keep going with the Coca because the back drag is so light that, and take the whole nut off. See, that's the difference. So why would I waste my time with a ratchet? I love Snap-on. I like their tools. They make good quality tools. I'm super amped about the stuff being made in the USA and everything. But when it comes down to garbage, if you're making garbage tools, or you come out with something and you just totally missed the mark on it, like these, I can't buy it. I can't use it. It's like useless. So, you know, not gonna make too much of a big deal out of it because eventually they'll come out with a rebuild kit that should fix that. But I'm seriously considering taking, you know, most of these ratchets back, trading them in on some different tools. You know, I'm not trying to get my money back, but I'm seriously gonna take most of these back and trade them in on some other tools. You know, the F80's much better. So anyway, I got that loose. Now this one, it's just, look, I can get my hand right here. It's easy. I just crack it loose, no big deal. But sometimes, what if I'm down there, way down in there trying to do that, and the ratchet won't do much more than break it loose? Well, that's no good, man. That's like totally useless. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I don't have to take it all the way off. Yeah, that's part of the turbo. And now, as you can see, I have access to all of my stuff. So that's just, you know, I gotta highlight the good and the bad, because people are watching my videos and they're seeing the stuff that I have. They're like, oh man, I think I'll get that. RV Tech Pro has that. No, I'm gonna tell you the stuff that is not good. And I totally can't recommend these 100 ratchets. Even though I have quite a few of them, I won't buy any more, and I might be taking back some of the ones that I got. Anyway, back to the video. We got to get these plugs installed. I'll be having to pull out some of my plug stuff, find out which size. I got some magnetic ones like these. See which size I got, and get set up here. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying not to get my fingerprint on the, okay, yep, that's it. That's gonna be 5/8. So I can just bring this over, and I'll start disconnecting my wire harnesses. And I gotta do this with 2 hands. I can't afford to mess this stuff up. And then I'll start removing my coil packs. All right, stay tuned. Okay, so I ended up using one of my picks to press down on the tab. On these, it wasn't working with me just putting my thumb on it, but with the concentrated pressure of the pick right there, it makes a nice positive click. You know that it has unlatched. Maybe I'll do this one back so you can hear it. You'll hear this click. Heard that? And once you get the click, then with the other hand, I just tugged on the wire just ever so slightly, and it came on off. All right. Let's see if it'll let me do that with my thumb. Yep. And boom. All right. These have never been taken off before. You know what I'm saying? All this is the original stuff. So, okay. But yeah, that's just a little mechanism. Now I'll take all these ignition coils out, take a look at them, and change the plugs. All right. So pop that coil off, and the nut grip sockets work great, man. You guys who work on your cars a lot or do this for a living, you know, you drop a screw in a tight engine bay like this, you spend more time finding crap like that than doing whatever you had to do. And with these nut grip sockets, they hold on so well that that's not an issue, which is why I'm using them. But this is an issue. This power torque 5/8 socket won't go down. It's too fat to go in the hole. So I have to use probably end up using a regular socket if I don't have some super slimline spark plug wrenches. So let me look and see what I have, and I'll be right back. Yeah, I had the wrong size. It's not a 5/8, it's 9/16, and I use that one a lot. And this is the one that the magnet has came out of it. There's nothing down there but the glue. So I don't really need the swivel. I don't need the swivel function, but this one uses the rubber grommet. So I'll be using this because I don't see where I have another magnetic 9/16. So yeah, I'll be using the one with the rubber. I'll be using that one then to get these out. They shouldn't be in there very tight. I need 2 hands to hold it steady. All right. Had a little torque on it. I'll have to check the torque spec on that. Or maybe it's just been seized in. Maybe no anti-seize was used or whatever. I definitely had to use 2 hands. One to steady and keep the ratchet straight. The other, which it's a short ratchet. These Koken ratchets. They do make longer ones, but I only have the standard size one. So, but anyway, I'll probably get my longer ratchet out for the rest of them. Go back to my my Mac access. But yeah, this is plug. This is you know, over 100,000 miles. All right. So I'm going to take all the plugs out, remove them, replace them. That's it. It's just that easy. All the bolts are already out. All of these, you know, they just pop out. As far as the name brand or what came, this is what's in here. Whatever that is. I thought they used NGKs. I don't know what this is, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But that's what came out of here, whatever those are. So I will change the other 3. Easy job, only 4 spark plugs, and take it for a test drive, see what we got. I always do these one at a time. It's just the way I've always done it. I don't just take them all out at one time. I just do it one at a time. Take one out, I put it back in, I put that coil back in right where I got it from. I put the screws back in. And I did switch to a longer ratchet. I got my snap-on swivel head. This was a ratchet that I tried to give away, but it was never claimed. I never got Russell's information, and I'm still using it. So, but yeah, with this one, after I get it loose, I can spin it. So I have a small version, but then I'll be right where I am with the Koken. So I went with this one, which I hadn't used much, but Russell was the person that won this ratchet, but I never got his address information. I even made a video just for him about how to get this, and I never heard from him. So I guess he wanted me to have it. So thanks, Russ. But yeah, I'm using the swivel so that when it's time to put them back in and screw them out, I can just turn the ratchet up. Well, let me just crack this one loose and I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, after I crack it loose, which I need 2 hands to steady it, then I can just stand it up and just spin it out the rest of the way. Just use it as a spinner. I got a power ratchet there. I could use that, but I didn't want to use power tools on this job. I'm just kind of using my feel and doing it with that. I'm just gonna take it apart and put it back together with just with hand tools. It's a good sign that everything's dry, no oil or anything, like on a lot of the domestic vehicles. You gotta change the plugs, and valve cover gaskets and stuff are bad, and you end up with wet plugs coming out, a bunch of oil. So yeah, so that's what I'm using. This is a this also is a 100 tooth ratchet, but it's the old 100 tooth design, the round head that Snap-on's had it for a while, which is a little different because the gears are in the body itself, and it works a little differently. If I show you the rebuild kit, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is the third one, and almost done. Just one more to go. All right, guys, so we got that done. That was a pretty easy job. Put our hoses back in our clamps, our turbo thing hooked back up, battery reconnected. Just did the plugs one by one, put the coils back in. Like I showed you, we didn't have any misfire codes. So what are the tools we use today? Well, I use this scanner to just to do a pre-scan before I worked on the vehicle, see what we had going on. And there is an issue with the keys, so it was a key code and a HAVAC code, which always shows up. It's just weird. But I have to use my my Autel IM508 and do another scan. It wouldn't clear those codes. It wouldn't clear the HAVAC code, and it wouldn't clear the key registration code. And I had a problem with the scanner yesterday, not clearing the codes off the Suzuki, so maybe this thing needs an update or whatever. You get brand new stuff like this, which I knew that going in. I bought it specifically for some Chryslers, and I needed it that day, so that's why I bought it. But yeah, I'll have to clear those codes out with my Autel, and maybe this thing needs a system update, because I have used that scanner before when I first got it to clear codes out of the same vehicle, but now it won't do it. So we'll see about that. I'll get my IM508 and do it and see what happens. But for the tools that we use, Koken in the clutch came through. It was very nice working with these Koken nut grip sockets. It was very nice knowing that after I got a nut all the way free, or fastener all the way free, that I didn't have to worry about it falling in the engine bay because of the detent pins and the technology in these Koken nut grip sockets. I use a 1-inch Pittsburgh wobble extension, which worked great because it was needed. Power torque, 9/16 socket, spark plug socket wrench. These didn't hold up. I do use this, but the magnet shouldn't fall out. Even if you use it like 10 times, the magnet shouldn't fall out like that. But Sunex came through in the clutch. This is a set of Sunex. It came in a case, but I took the top off to fit in the toolbox after because this is not something that I typically have with me on the truck. But the rubber grommets, they fit tight around the tip of the spark plugs, and I had no problem with them falling. Got them all out, easy peasy. Those are the 4 plugs, and of course the Koken Z-Series ratchet that I use, OG, made in Japan. Awesome low back drag, you know, and that's not even a 92 ratchet. You know, this is a 72 tooth mechanism, and it totally outperformed the Snap-on 100 tooth ratchet, which like I said, I'll probably be trading those in for something else. I'll think of something else that I want, and I'm probably gonna get rid of 1, 2. I'll probably get rid of these 3. I'll probably get rid of these 3. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they don't work, man. So I might get rid of all of them and just say screw that, because they don't work, and I don't need something that doesn't work. I'm not always in a position to where I can put my finger on the socket to keep it spinning. You know what I'm saying? And if this 10-year-old design with a 72 tooth gear count can take that same fastener off entirely without me having to touch the socket or the fastener to keep it spinning, then I think an innovative, great company like Snap-on with USA engineers, minds, and spirits should be able to come up with a better design of the ratchet. So I'm not gonna keep them. I'm pretty much gonna trade all of those ratchets in, guys. I don't want them, and I'll probably sell the foam to somebody who wants it, because this foam is for the 100 tooth ratchets. Or maybe I'll just keep the foam and use it as an organizer like I'm using now, because a lot of these ratchets on this side, these 4 ratchets and all of these, none of these are the ratchets that go in here, mostly just those ones back there. So I got about 6 or 7 100 tooth ratchets that I'll be taking back to the Snap-on man. It's about $1,400. So yeah. Now I will go start my grill and grill some sausages and pork chops. This is a nice, easy, for me, doing stuff like this. This is a very fulfilling day, right? Getting to work on my sister's car. Talked to my folks earlier. Went to church this morning. Started the day off right. Went to church. Had a great time in church. Come home. Did a little light mechanic work on a car. Help somebody out. Go fire up my grill. And just enjoy the day. To me, that's an enjoyable day, guys. So I like doing this. I'm working on cars. I'm pretty much doing it for fun. And I'm not doing it professionally. I don't care about how long it takes or how fast it takes, because I'm not charging people to do this work. I like using my tools, having the right tools, and working on cars. Now, I get to use this when it's time to pull those CV axles. So I bought that tool a while back, and this is what I mean. I buy stuff and I like to be able to use it. So this is for removing CV axles, especially when they're stuck. So I get to use that. I get to use that guy. That'll be very fulfilling for me when I do the axles. So that's what we got for right now, guys. I'm gonna go fire up my grill, and I will catch you guys on the next one.